Understand louder, you have to look at the part of the body that psychologists and neuroscientists don't look normally to spend too much time, which is the ribcage. And it doesn't seem terribly exciting, but actually you are using your ribcage all time. What you are all doing at the moment with your ribcage, and don't stop doing it, is breathing. So, you use the intercostal muscles, the muscles between your ribs, to bring air in and out your lungs just by expanding and contracting your ribcage. And if I was to put a strap around the outside of your chest called a breath belt, and you look at that moment, you see a rather gentle sinusoidal movement. That breathing, you are all doing it, don't stop. As soon as you start talking, you start using your breathing completely differently. So what I am doing now is see something much more like this. In talking, you use very fine movements of your rib cage, squeeze the air out, and in fact, we are the only animals that can do this. It's why we can talk at all. Now, both talking and breathing has a mortal enemy, and that mortal enemy is laughter. Because what happens when you laugh is those the same muscles start to contract very regularly, and you get this very marked score of zigzagging, and that's just squeezing the air out of you. It literally is that basic a way of making a sound. You could be stamping on somebody, it has the same effect. You are squeezing the air out, and each those contraction ha gives a sound, and as the contraction run together, you can get spams, and that's when you start getting this with things. I am brilliant at this. Now, in terms of science, laughter there isn't very much, but it doesn't turn out that everything everything we think we know about laughter is wrong. So it's not all unusual, for example, to hear people to say humans are not animals that laugh. In night such together, the humans are the animals that laugh. In fact, you find laughter through the mammals. It's been well described and well observed in primates, but also seen in rats, and however you find it, humans, primates, rats. You find it associated with things like tickling, that the same for humans. You find it associated with play, and all mammals play, and wherever you find it associated with interaction. So, Robert Provine, who has done a look of work on this, has pointed out that are 30 times more likely to laugh if you are somebody else if you are on your own, and where you find most laughter is in social interactions like conversations. So you ask humans beings, when do you laugh? They will laugh about the comedy, and they will laugh about the humor, and they will laugh about the jokes. If you looked at they are laughing with friends, and they are laughing when people are hardly ever actually laughing at jokes. You're laughing to show people that to understand them, that you agree with them, that you are part of the same group. You are laughing to show that you are like them. You might even love them. You are doing all that at the same time as talking to them, and laughter is doing a lot in that emotional work for you. Something that Robert Provines has pointed out, as you can hear, and in fact, the reason why we laugh when we hear those funny laugh and at the start, and why I was laughing when my parents laughing, is enormously behavioral, contagious. You can catch the laughter from somebody else, and you are the more likely to catch the laughter of somebody else if you know them. So, still modulated by this social context, you have to put humor to one side and think about the social meaning of laughter, because that's where its original lie. Laughter is so basic to humans. We probably notice it unless it is totally pleasant or absolutely annoys us. But laughter has power, the power to energize the humdrum, add livability to the everyday blah 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 blah. Laughter carries such a social connection that it's a mating ritual and way to bond. Studies suggest that laughter may boost our health. Our all too human laughter set us, and our clothes contains that primates apart from all other species that roam our planet, said Robert Provines, PhD, and the behavioral of neurobiologist at the University of Maryland, Baltimore. Think about think it about it the next time you are through good listening to old carriers and calls of birds that live there. When loud, those creatures are hearing sounds that are just as odd as just characteristic of our own species. Many researchers believe that the purpose of laughter is related to making and stretching human connections. Laughter occurs when people are comfortable with another people, when they feel open and free. And the more laughter there is, the more bonding occurs within the group, says cultural anthropologist Maheb Abe. This feedback loop of bonding laughter, more bonding, combined with the common desire that not be single out of the group, may be another reason why laughter is another contagious thing. Studies have also found that dominant individuals, the boss, the trivial, the chef, or the family patriarch, use humor more than subordinates. If you often thought that everyone in the office laughed when the boss laughed, your perspective. In such case, Morel says, controlling the laughter of a group becomes a way of exercising power by controlling the emotional climate of the group. So, laughter, like human behavior, must have evolved to change the behavior of others, providing sense. For example, in embarrassing or threatening situation, laughter may serve a conditionally gesture or as a way to deflect anger. If feel-threatening person joins the laughter, the risk contained may lessen. Provine is among only a few people who are studying laughter much as an animal behaviorist might study a dog, bark, or a bird song. He believes that laughter, like bird songs, functions as kind of social signal. Other students have confirmed that theory by providing that people are 30 minutes more likely laugh social settings that when they are alone and without pseudo-social stimulation like television. Even nitrous oxide or laughing gas loses much of its hump when taken in isolation.